Good evening, everybody. See, I said I was getting back in the swing of things. So, obviously, it's been a minute since I did an INFJ video. I know even my wine glasses are witchy, and they also don't break if I drop it. But, INFJs, we are often depicted, especially in fiction, as heroes. I did a video previously on the INFJ hero complex, which I must say is very true. I myself admit to having a hero complex. I mean, I am an ex-firefighter after all, and I'm testing to become a cop. Stating that hero complex, not to mention, the stuff I've done for years with the witchcraft community, helping women escape bad relationships, which I now know are usually with narcissists. Back when I first got involved in that, because my mother, we kind of always had somebody she knew staying with us, getting out of a bad relationship in the spare bedroom. Obviously, I didn't know what a narcissist was in the 90s and early 2000s. Although when I became a teenager, I would, help my mother in some of these. For all her flaws as a borderline, my mother was, bar none, the best at calling out a covert narcissist publicly. And as I said, particularly in sales, I recall, story time, I recall once in 2003, early summer, because I had my learner's permit at the time, and we were at the King of Prussia Mall, which is where my modeling agency office was at the time. I'm, again, with the same agency, but the office isn't in the mall anymore. But we were at Macy's. I had a meeting with my agent later, and a girl that my mother was sort of mentoring, because my mother was a barber. This girl was in barber school and working at Macy's. And my mom would, guest teach or help out at the barber college from time to time. She had this scumbag men's clothing manager boyfriend who treated her like property, crushed her confidence, was trying to move her away. Standard playbook. I talked about it yesterday. And, very good bullshitter, very big on lies, very big at putting himself on a pedestal when, in all reality, the dude was average across the board. So my mother, found out from her friend, her name was Maureen, got on the intercom system and called this dude out to the whole store, ripped that mask off. And I remember, I can see it clear as day, she was telling the truth. And some people can't see, don't have intuition. My mother didn't really, but obviously Maureen had told her everything. But once my mother was speaking the truth, the dawning horror in, his coworkers' eyes, everybody, that revelation of I knew something was up, and then it all comes together and makes sense. It was glorious. And then he came at us. Well, I made a comment about his lack of, well, and that of course set him off. And when a guy who's pushing 30 takes a swing at a 16-year-old kid, and then the 16-year-old kid wins the fight, well, that's rather embarrassing. And of course, there's no repercussion to the 16-year-old kid. After all, he's 16 and got hit first. He's just defending himself. And now I'm testing for that very police department. Kind of ironic. And I work right next door to that store in a different store. I'm not saying the name. But back to our topic. There's my story time for the day. INFJs, heroes, but more specifically, what type of hero are we? Well, in my enlightened and intuitive opinion, we are the Byronic hero. Ah, yes, that trope. And I'm going to get into why. So a Byronic hero is a deeply flawed individual who lives by his own code. They're almost typically male, so I'll say the male INFJ is the Byronic hero. Although there are female examples of Byronic heroes, but they are rare. One, when I was looking up on this that I am familiar with, is if you watch the soap opera One Life to Live back in the day, the character of Dorian Lord was a Byronic hero. I watched that back in the day, and I always liked Dorian. Now I know why. All right. So the Byronic hero, usually male, though there may be in rare instances females, are considered very attractive physically and in terms of personality, and possess a great deal of magnetism and charisma. although they don't know it. They're usually unaware of it. Sound like us INFJs. Very intelligent, perceptive, i.e. intuitive, sophisticated, educated, cunning, and adaptable. Again, sounds like INFJs. Loners, can seem self-centered, but usually just reserved and withdrawn. Really starting to add up. Emotionally sensitive, which may translate into being emotionally conflicted, bipolar, or moody. I did another video of how often do INFJs, especially teenage INFJs, get accused of being bipolar because people don't understand what an NITI loop is. Now, bipolars, there's a chemical imbalance. It can last this and that. NITI loops, it's a thought process that can break like that under the right circumstances around the right people. Although we think we're just going to keep overthinking our way out of it, but that almost never works. Once in a blue moon it does, and we think if we just think deeper, it'll work. But no. You want to get out of an NITI loop, you need a sweet, caring ENFJ. That always works for me. They can reach me when no one else can. Starting with my maternal grandmother. My grandfather was an INFJ. And she was married to a narcissist first. And he was abusive. And then he vanished. Did I mention my grandfather was from Italy? Old Alberto. All right. Byronic heroes are described as dark and brooding. Dwells on their pain and their injustices of their past, often stabbed in the back, misunderstood, though they come across as honorable and with integrity and with empathy, that is often taken advantage of and used against them, which results in these internal scars that haunt them, us. Byronic heroes muse philosophically on circumstances that brought them into this point, i.e. why they're dark and brooding. And often, are overly critical of their own past personal failings. INFJs, you disagree with any of this yet? Because I don't. Cynical, world-weary, and jaded, often due to their mysterious, dark, and troubled past. Most of us dealt with narcissists. Some, like me, someone tried to kill. Bullet wounds. Which, when this is uncovered, may reveal a significant loss or a past misdeed which still haunts us, or conversely, may be suffering from an injury committed against them, although this truth is revealed to so few. Again, trust issues. Yeah, that doesn't sound like us. Byronic heroes are extremely passionate with a strong personal belief that are usually in conflict with the values of the status quo. Conflict with the status quo. Me? I got that whole, I only worship the queen of hating the status quo. Statues over there. Yeah. So, sees our own values and passion as above or better than those that are blindly followed by the, quote, sheep. This can sometimes manifest itself as perceived arrogance or a martyr-like attitude. We do tend to have a chivalrous martyr complex, particularly when we're protecting whatever woman we're in love with at the time. I recently had a write-up for that. Just say. Byronic heroes understand to get to where they want to be and get what they want, we must often take the long road, as timing is never on our side. Oh, how true, how true. We have an intense drive and determination to live out our own personal philosophy and not fall in line behind the status quo without regard to others. This may result in a tragic end, especially if this long road, that we're fighting for fails or revolution would not succeed. You mean like the edge of the coin, the free will thing? Curse fate? No. Embrace fate? Never. Third option, you say, free will. So I can get what I want, I just gotta burn this down? All right. Byronic hero, let's Daenerys Targaryen this city then. So, We are very rebellious and distasteful of corrupt social institutions and institutional norms, disrespectful of rank and privilege, particularly if this rank and privilege has not been earned. This rebellious nature often leads to social isolation, rejection, or exile. I've been through all of them. You know, they exiled me from Arlington for challenging and beating the status quo, I might add. Take that, good old boys club. And Sigma Chi, our war will never end. I swear it in the name of Lilith. Often treated like an outlaw, but will not compromise, and can sometimes unavoidably be self-destructive. So, INFJs. Oh yeah, by the way, often dress in all black, which I do. INFJs sound like us. So that hero title, you agree with me that the title of Byronic hero is more accurate, you know, more narrow, better fitting? Because I do. Share your comments below. If you haven't watched my older videos, check out my older videos, then my playlist on topics like INFJs, Sigma male INFJs. There's all the witchcraft and Lilith stuff and all the narcissist stuff as well. Please like and subscribe. Help a rebellious truth-telling channel like mine grow against the corporatist status quo loving channels that just parrot the same good old boy baby boomer narrative. Let the rebellion win. I'm in a couple rebellions right now. Well, we'll see how they go.